Morning traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So just starting from the weekly chart, you can see that we have closed, well not closed yet, but we have broken below this neckline here. And just give you the level, that's 48,315, which is pretty much a very big double top. I'd like to see a weekly close below this because of the size of it. You do see it visible on the daily as well. But on the daily, we could be sort of just bounce around here and then bounce up as well. So the weekly close below this level is going to be fairly telling. Now, one thing that I do see is from fractal to fractal, we have a break below this fractal. So I have a measured move here of around 46,500. Now we just come back to the weekly. You'll see it doesn't really line up exactly, but there is a pin bar there, and there is some inside tails pretty much all over the place in that area. So it is a distinct possibility. Okay, however, the big thing here is come on, that would be your major target, which is 42,700. Now it's going to zoom out to the monthly just to see what that's going to deliver, and that pretty much comes back to this area where the buyers were stepping in over the last couple of years. Okay, looking at the monthly, you can see that this is not a pretty picture. This is definitely looking like quite a big top, and I think the other thing to worry about is the break below this level here, 44,051, could potentially bring in an even bigger double top into play. Okay, but anyway, that's long term, not what we want to focus on just yet. What we do want to focus on is this scenario here, not that one. So yesterday we were expecting a bounce off here back to the upside. Didn't really materialize. We were in negative territory at an inside bar, then a gap up, which basically would have thrown a lot of the people out. As soon as the seller stepped in, it would have triggered stops because there were a lot of people, including me, that was waiting for a break above this fractal level here for a move to the upside. Okay, so this would have triggered a lot of those entries, and then the seller stepped in and drove the market down. So the hour is going to give us a little bit of a better picture. You can see we had this rally the day before. It was looking like it was going to cross over. We had a nice gap up. So, for me anyway, that was a break above this fractal level here. And it would have been, well, it was for me, triggered to the long side, but basically what happened was it reversed straight away, and what we were anticipating as a break to the upside pretty much became a wedge. And what we had here, important just to understand what transpired, and what you've got here is your second move to the downside. Okay. Now, looking at this price action at the moment, that does look a little bit like a bit of a range. And I'll tell you the half hour because our closing range strategy would have failed horribly as well. So break to the upside, take it along, and then we would have triggered to the downside. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of structure here for a long time, and I think that's why you have this acceleration to the downside. The structure broke and the stops were triggered. So what we have at the moment, probably more volatility. I just want to get back to the daily because that level is important. Okay, and if we do continue to the downside, we've got so many levels here to worry about, but I suppose that would be the most logical. Okay, so back to the half hour. So at this stage, so we just started in the beginning. So the US markets were down on average 3%. So Nasdaq was 3%, Dow 3%, S&P 2.9%. Okay. So that was what happened yesterday. The rand got hammered. We were at 15.40 at one stage. We're now 15.37 right now. 10 cent at the moment is down 2.5%. So I do suspect that we have another gap down and another move down. So this is actually looking like a range, but also looking like a flat bottom triangle. Just do that. Okay, so that is looking like a bit of a consolidation. So we would anticipate another move to the downside. So I am wary of this move to the downside, and take it from there. Pretty much because if I look at all my indicators, look at the levels that we're at, this is all screaming, don't go short here, wait for the bounce and then go short. But the longer we wait for the bounce, the less chance of us getting that bounce. And then obviously what we do as human beings is we jump in with fear of losing out. So, technically I suppose yesterday when the long failed, yesterday when the long failed, a break below this fractal, that was an indication that this was going to continue. And I think right now what you want to be doing is looking at the hour. Trade the hour on this thing because you can see what's going on. If you can try and trade the 5 minutes, I know there's basically been 100 pip candles and then 135 pip 5 minute candles. So you can make a lot of money in 5 minutes. A couple of years ago, 100 points in a day was a really profitable day on this market. So anyway, we're rambling a bit, but I think for me right now, what we're looking for is more than likely a break, and I think you're going to get it. To be honest, I think you're going to get a gap down, but this could really be an exhaustion gap. Okay, if I look at the futures market overall at the moment, the Dax is up almost 0.9% at the moment. S&P is up 0.5%. The Russell's up 0.6%. The Dow's up 0.5%. So a lot of the futures markets have got a fairly large bounce at the moment. So it's difficult to ascertain whether we're going to have a massive gap down or whether we're just going to come and tag a level before following the international markets. Whether the international markets are bouncing for the turn, we're going to have to wait for confirmation. I think the trend is down at the moment, so what we're looking for is entries to be short. I'd like to see a retest of 48,330. If we can get back to 48,330 and then reject that level, that to me is going to be confirmation of this double top. Okay, but looking at the oscillators on the daily, I don't see that happening. First, I would expect some kind of consolidation or something similar to this, where we just sort of muck around and the oscillators sort of come back off the bottom here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. Everything is warning me that I need to be watching for a level, so I'm really reluctant to be short even on this break. Okay, I'd rather wait for some structure and then get back in short. So right now, stay with the trend. It is short. We've broken through a major level, but you want to see some kind of a bounce up and then another attempt to move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment, and probably be doing this on the, let's just say on the half hour, probably easier for us on the half hour. So I do suspect we're going to sort of have a gap down, possibly. It's 500 points, it's nothing. So possibly a bit of a gap down and then come and tag a level before we get the bounce we're looking for. Okay, so break below the low of yesterday, probably well worth a short with a stop very tight at 41,200. I think that's going to give you, that'll be a 300 point stop loss. And then what you want to do is you're looking to tag 47,330. Okay, that's pretty much a trade that I have at the moment. If we do break above this fractal here, I think I will sit it out, wait to see what happens at 48,332. And before we close off, let's just make sure that there is no... Okay, there is one a little bit higher. You can see there's some substantial selling happening off that level there, which is fairly close to this swing low. Okay, so let's just come back to this. So first price for me, if we bounce off 48,330, that's an area I'm looking for. So I want to see something on the 12 minutes or 15 minutes, some price action indicating a turn. If we get through that level, then definitely 48,580, 48,700 area would be the next level. Okay, so that's kind of me for today. I'm anticipating another move to the downside, and the key is 47,920 roughly. And I'm looking for a break to the downside. Okay, anyway, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.